Hi everyone, great to be with you as we recap Sunday's Bible talk and our time together as the people of God. So Sunday just gone, the 1st of November, we looked at our last talk in the book of Exodus, chapters 35 to 40, and it was filled with glorious things. We spent some time thinking about the glory in this life, from the sunset and sunrise to food and art, music, people, achievements, even the perfectly balanced spreadsheet. Our world is full of glorious things, and we often can't live without tripping over glorious things. But we saw at the beginning how all those are meant to point us on, direct us to, like a GPS, to the one true lasting glory we're made for, that never diminishes, that never fades. And then we opened that up more because Exodus 35 to 40 is filled with glorious things. The people now get to work building the tent of meeting, the tabernacle, the place God is going to dwell on earth. And it's filled with hints alluding back to creation itself. We saw the people bringing glorious treasure, the best of creation, to beautify God's space. We saw them working for the glory of God, not themselves, contrasting Exodus 32 and the golden calf. We saw God's Spirit filling and equipping people to beautify and make nice and make beautiful and glorious his space. Then we saw God coming to live and dwell amongst his people, the Spirit settling over the tabernacle now, like a portal of Mount Sinai, always going before the people, always with them in God's presence. And then Moses, at the very end, tries to go in. And there's this harsh, stark reminder that because of the people's sin, they can't go in. And so if you read on to Leviticus, you learn about what it means for God to live in your space, to live in your community, the center of your life, and how you relate to that God. How you can't just walk in as you are, but you need to be changed, forgiven, and become holy as well. Then we ended by seeing that we now catch a glimpse of the glory of God in Christ Jesus. That the Spirit of God, the glory of God, came down again in the fullness of man, in the fullness of Jesus Christ himself. That he lived and dwelt and has shown us the glory of God once more and has made a way for us to come into God's presence. So we're not barred or stopped or have to work for our effort to get in, but actually he worked for us what we could never do. And then we saw how at the very end, that means that all our time and talents and treasures, we now use them to the glory of God as well. So I wonder what it looks like for you to give your life to the glory of God, for the glory of another, and then to use your life and time and talents and treasures to make him known, to make him look magnified and magnificent in the life of you and those around you. And so that was the end of Exodus. This coming week, Peter Lockery is going to begin our series in the book of Titus for 4 weeks for the rest of November. He'll take us through chapter 1 over 2 weeks, and then I'll be with you for chapters 2 and 3 before Paul Harrington begins a series in December leading up to Christmas as we look at 1 Peter. There's some exciting things happening in the life of our church coming up. On Sunday, we'll announce just what's happening event-wise. We have Christmas Day. We have the biggest challenge question series in January that's now finalised with Stephen George, Paul Cooper and Scott Westwood and myself preaching at all of the churches over the January period. And then Trinity Church Modbury is also having a carols event on the 20th of December. We have a church AGM on November 22, and we have a community barbecue picnic lunch on November 29, the last week in November. More details about all that in the coming week. So look out in your emails and for the announcement on Sunday. But just on the 29th of November for our church picnic, bring your own salads and desserts. And we'll have really low-key sausage sizzle going along as well, so you can enjoy the time together with the people of God after church. Don't forget to, as a group, why not spend some time just thanking God for his grace in your life? Why not share with one another how you've seen God at work in the last few months as we've looked in the book of Exodus? And just share with each other how God has been changing and showing you more of himself. And then pray that you would be able to glorify God with all your time, talents, and treasures in the coming week and months as well. So hope to see you on Sunday. That's a recap from Sunday's talk just gone. Read Titus 1. Have a look at Exodus 35 to 40 tonight with your community group or just on your own. And don't forget Peter's questions there to help you think about it, and the talk outline is in the note section below the video as well. Have a great week.